with that being said, let's jump into our lead story of the day with the gladiator, Peter Doocy, confronting Karine Jean-Pierre regarding the crime that is plaguing this country, predominantly in blue states. And let's just see what Karine Jean-Pierre has to say about this crime. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Thank you, Karine. Does President Biden think America's big cities are safe?
Can you say more?
Well, we know that thefts and robberies are up about 20% in the first half of this year, so I'm wondering if he thinks America's big cities are safe.
Are you talking about the New York Times story specifically? Or is that what you're referring to?
The murder rate's still 30% above its 2019 level. They're all from the Council on Criminal Justice. So we've seen some high-profile examples of this. The Washington Commanders running back was being mugged. He got shot. Karen Bass, member of Congress, had her house robbed. These are high-profile people. So should everyday Americans who are not in the public eye feel safe?
So I'll say this. That same story also stated that the crime is complicated and multifaceted. Look, this is a president who has secured historic funding to make sure that law enforcement has what it needs, especially, and he was able to do this in the face of opposition from Republicans during a time where he inherited a rising crime rate from the previous administration. The president put forth the American Rescue Plan, and in that very plan, there was more than $300 billion to go to local states and local cities to make sure that they were able to hire law officers. They were able to hire, firefighters. They were able to hire people that were critical to their needs as they were dealing with a pandemic. Republicans voted against that.
So I guess
Well, Republicans voted against that. It is so amazing the manipulation this woman does. First, she starts off by saying that crime is complicated. What? You commit the crime, you go to jail, you go to prison, you pay a fine. It's not complicated at all. You committed a crime. And then she's going to make it seem as if they're all defenders of the police all of a sudden after we just spent 4+ years of the Democrat Party and the progressive left saying to defund the police. And she's going to tout this American Rescue Plan as giving $300 billion and make it seem like it's solely going to hiring for police officers, and it's not. It's going to first responders, as she just mentioned, firefighters. Karine, the question was, do Americans or should the Americans feel safe in American cities? It wasn't about firefighters. Firefighters don't stop crime, Karine, okay? It's the police officers, of which you said to defund for years and years, while Black Lives Matter and Antifa ran roughshod over cities, burned buildings down, predominantly African-American businesses as well. It's so unbelievable, the spinning and manipulation that this administration is doing. And if you notice, they're putting the referendum on the GOP right now because 50% of Democrats don't want Biden to run for office, and they know that. Jen Psaki knows that. She was just on the news the other day saying, look, if the referendum's on Biden, the Democrats are going to get shellacked in the midterms. And so that's why you have the messaging coming out from the president and his mouthpiece here saying, hey, Republicans in the GOP are extremists. They're a threat to democracy. They're a threat to the country. And that's why she's trying to spin everything and put the referendum on the GOP, because they know if they don't, they're going to get shellacked in the polls coming this midterm. And by the way, she never answered the question. The question was, what does the president think? Does he think that the American cities are safe? And she never answered it. And I know we're becoming so accustomed to it, folks, of her just not listening with her ears, not answering questions, manipulating it, lying to all of us. I know we're very aware of what she does. Let's see if Peter Doocy follows up here.
Original question, does President Biden think America's big cities are safe?
It is not a yes or no question. It is very much a question of what has he done? That's how we see the question, is what has he done?
I'm done. That's how we see the question. Why the hell have the press there? Why do a press conference then, Karine, if you're just going to listen to their questions and just answer your own question that you made up with and not answer any of theirs? Maybe this all makes sense now as to what she's been doing the last few months of just not answering anybody's questions, because she's just answering her own damn question. She's freaking making it up herself. Can't believe that she just said that. This is how we see it. This is how we see the question, Peter. That's unbelievable. She's like living in her own reality here. So there you have it, folks. That's why the Biden administration, one of the many reasons I'm sure as to why they're not answering anybody's questions, because they're making up their own questions to questions that were never asked in the first place.
To make sure that cities, and it doesn't matter if it's a big city or a small city, it doesn't matter if it's in a red state or a blue state. What matters is that we have the funding and we have done the work, put the policy forward to make sure that these cities, whether it's big or small, have what they need to protect their community. And that's what this president has done. Again,
why does she keep boasting on what this president has done when literally he just got done citing in his first question that murder rates are up 30%, robberies are happening all over the place, predominantly basically happening in blue states, and she's going to say and tout all these things the president has done, and none of them are working. We've talked about this with illegal immigration. She's boasting about, oh, we gave like $80 billion to DHS, and we got more border security and more technology down there. We're helping the process. All the while, you literally broke U.S. history, illegal immigration. So everything you've done has been a waste, but you're going to boast about it. It's so mind-blowing to me that somebody's going to boast and it hasn't done anything other than waste taxpayer dollars on your efforts to try and stop it, and you're going to boast about the very thing of which crime is up. Is anybody else just baffled as I am?
Without the help of Republicans.
And my last one on this. Jen Psaki says the crime is a huge vulnerability for Democrats. Why would she say that?
So, again, I can't do electoral politics from here, as you know, but I don't agree with your characterization of what she actually said. But I'll say this, and I've already said this already. The past few months, what we've been able to do is create a pretty much clear split screen of what we are doing to deliver for the American people and what Republicans refuse to do. We are making sure that that we have Medicare and Social Security, and we make sure that the big pharma is not upping cost for our seniors, right? And making sure that we give them a little bit of breathing room. And you have Republicans who want to cut Medicare. They want to sunset Medicare. They want to sunset Social Security. You have this GOP agenda that was put out by the House, where they want to go after the Inflation Reduction Act, which will have an effect that will actually hurt Americans. And so I think there is a stark contrast here that we've seen the past several months. I would argue the past 19 months.
What a liar. What a liar. And it's frustrating as hell. Just here's the thing, you guys. She says so much nonsense, and I don't want to keep pausing it after one sentence of her just saying something that's false, manipulating, outright lie. Oh, Republicans are going against the Inflation Reduction Act. Yes, because it doesn't reduce inflation, you knucklehead. So why would we support something of which doesn't actually do it? And it's in the name that's falsified. It doesn't reduce inflation at all. It increases inflation. It's so frustrating to be dealing with this administration, and no wonder 50% of Democrats don't want that guy to run again, because they suck. I mean, I thought Obama was bad, you guys. Hell, this guy is just terrible. Terrible. She's terrible at her job. Jen Psaki was terrible at her jobs. The PR of the White House is terrible at their jobs. Their foreign policy is terrible. I mean, could somebody name a good thing that the Biden administration has done? I'm sure it's out there, but I'm talking really like a holistic view, really concrete thing, because everything in big picture just sucks. Again, you got to love the boasting from this administration. Oh, we're spending so much money on illegal immigration and trying to curb it, all the while you're broken records. Oh, we're spending so much money. We're hiring more police officers than ever before. And you got just massive surge of crime happening in blue areas of which you're trying to hire more police officers. It's just, you can't make it up, folks. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.